Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome to episode 28 of the Unstoppable Entertainment Show. I am, of course, Nate Schaffner, otherwise known as the Unstoppable Nate. Now, where was I? Uh, uh, obviously, I've been gone for a while. So have had some uh, pretty significant life changes. Um, Katie and I moved back to Ohio, so we're back among family and friends, and it's good to be here. And uh, it feels I'm still kind of pinching myself, if I'm being honest. But it's good to be back on the show. I might be a little rusty, but we'll see how it goes. Um, but yeah, it's good to be here. It's good to be home. And but I thought I would pick the show back up, and fill you guys in on things that have happened in the industry over the past several months. Now, obviously, um, I'm going to fill everybody in on things that have been happening in the past several months, but also try to stay relevant. I don't want to, you know, obviously talk about. I I'm I don't want to talk about stuff that is old news, or anything like that. I do want to say I have had the pleasure of seeing several movies over the past 3 or 4 months. I went to go see the new Superman movie, which is great. It's great. I Superman is one of my favorite characters, um, and honestly, and uh, for whatever I don't know, so a lot of some people are complaining about the movie, and I don't get it. To me, this new Superman movie is the best Superman movie since the first two of the Christopher Reeve movies. I loved it. I loved it a lot, and I'm really looking forward to the future of this new DC universe. More on that later. What else did I see? The new Fantastic Four. Thank God that movie's great. Oh, it's about damn time that Marvel got that these characters were done right. I loved it. Loved it so much. Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, um, all those characters, and the way they did Galactus, they finally did Galactus justice. Um, so I loved that. What else? Katie and I went to go see The Bad Guys 2, the animated movie. You know, look, um, I understand. I was look, I'm obviously a grown man, and uh, it may sound weird to for an adult such as myself to go see animated movies, but I really don't think that animation is just for kids. I think animation is an important medium in filmmaking. And my wife and I loved Bad Guys too. We loved the first one too. Um, and then we went to go see the new Naked Gun, which with Liam Neeson. It's so funny, and it might end up being one of my favorite movies of the year. I mean, honestly, it's great. Um, what else? God, I've seen a lot. I saw Weapons, the horror movie, the mystery horror movie with Josh Brolin, which is that one blew my mind. Um, it's that's like one of those like holy like WTF, you know. Um, I saw Caught Stealing. Now here's a funny story. So I drove about an hour to go see Caught Stealing because it wasn't in theaters very long. Caught Stealing is that heist movie directed by Darren Aronofsky with Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz, and it's great. It's the I mean it's but I drove about an hour to see it because it wasn't in theaters very long, and I really wanted to see it. Um, but that one's great. I saw One Battle After Another, the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Benicio del Toro, and I walked out of that movie going, I think I just saw a Best Picture contender for the Oscars this coming year. It's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. Um, the I'm forgetting her name, but the actress who plays Leonardo DiCaprio's daughter, the actress who plays his daughter, stole the whole movie for me. If I, put my filmmaking cap on, I'm very interested. I'm extremely interested to see where her career goes from here. What else did I see? Katie and I went to go see Roofman, uh, the movie with Channing Tatum and Kirsten Dunst. It's based on the true story of the guy who holds himself up in holds himself up. Uh, he hides in the Toys R Us. It's based on a true story, and that one's great. And I'm gonna go see Predator Badlands tomorrow, which I have heard great things about. The last Predator movie, not Prey, but the one before that, that one crushed me. I was so severely disappointed in that movie. It was so awful. But this one I've heard is great, so I'm going to go see Predator Badlands tomorrow. So with that, I wanted to get you guys up to speed. There's been a lot of news, a lot of entertainment news happening over the past 3 or 4 months. I wanted to. So here's what I'm going to do. Instead of talking for hours on end on one episode, I'm going to try to break things up into several different episodes so you can watch them at your leisure instead of having to listen to me ramble on for hours on end. And again, obviously, there are things that are no longer. A lot has happened in the past 3 or 4 months, but I don't want to talk about things that are necessarily old news. I'm still going to talk about things that are relevant. I was saying to my wife Katie, I'm not going to talk about movies I'm not going to talk about news relating to movies where the trailer has already been released, because everybody knows that it's or movies that have already been released, because what would be the point? But I'm going to try to stay relevant here. And there's a lot that has happened in the industry over the past several months. So let's get started. So for those who don't know, I think the last time I was on, one of the things that I was talking about was this remake of the Thomas Crown Affair that is going to be directed and is going to star Michael B. Jordan. There's been some casting updates regarding that movie. Let's see here. So Taylor Russell an actress by the name of Taylor Russell, was going to be, I'm assuming, the female lead opposite Michael B. Jordan in the Thomas Crown Affair, in this remake of the Thomas Crown Affair. She exited the project due to creative differences, either with the film or with her character. So she will no longer be in the movie. Now, Adria Arjona, who I don't think I'm too familiar with her. She Adria Arjona is replacing Taylor Russell. So she is going to now, Adria Arjona is now going to be the female co-lead. This article is on The Hollywood Reporter, published by Ryan Gajewski. And this article says, Adria Arjona is set to star alongside Michael B. Jordan in the Thomas Crown Affair for Amazon MGM Studios. So this article goes on to say that Drew Pearce, who wrote The Fall Guy, which is great, wrote the script for the new movie. So Adria Arjona is... she was on the Disney Plus Star Wars show Andor, which I have not watched yet, and I've heard it's great, and I need to watch it. And she was also in the feature film Blink Twice with Channing Tatum, which I did not see yet, but I plan to. So, I mean, this is obviously interesting for a couple of reasons. It's the replacing of an actress for creative differences, but I am under the impression that the exiting of Taylor Russell and Adria Arjona replacing her, it is my understanding that happened fairly quickly, meaning they really want to get the ball rolling, filming this movie. And that's exciting to hear. I'm looking forward to this movie. I don't want to say that I'm excited because they've already remade the movie before. But I am looking forward to it because I also know that Michael B. Jordan is directing, and he did a great job directing Creed 3, which was his directorial debut. So I'm looking forward to this, and hopefully it's great. So we will see what happens with this movie. Excuse me, my eyes are my eyes are bothering me today. Okay. Let's move on here. I don't know if any of you are aware, and maybe you aren't, maybe you are and maybe you aren't, but a few months back, actor Malcolm-Jamal Warner, who played Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, died at the age of 54, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it. It was my Katie and I recently watched the entire run of The Cosby Show, and that show, if you watch that show in its entirety, it really is. I mean, there are obviously episodes and storylines that are about every character, but from the first episode, if you watch it from beginning to end, that show really is shows a character arc with Theo Huxtable. The very first episode of is about Theo. He's like, I'm not going to go to college. I'll survive on bologna and hot dogs, and I'm not going to go to college. I'll get it. I'll learn a trade, and Cliff Huxtable, played by Bill Cosby. He's just like, no, you are, you're going to try as hard as you can, to have uh, the best life you can have. And the show ends with Theo graduating college and Cliff kind of looking back on. He's kind of reminiscing on the kind of kid that on who he's kind of reminiscing about who Theo was, obviously, and how much he's grown up. And the character of Theo, starting from not wanting to go to college, not wanting to do well in school, just causing trouble, and then realizing that, and then he and his family come to realize over time that Theo has dyslexia, so he has to adjust how he learns in school based on the fact that he has dyslexia. So he has to adjust, and that adjustment helps him succeed and ultimately graduate college. And it's really quite an emotional character arc, and whether the fact that Malcolm-Jamal Warner died so young. He was only 54. And there are many people, much like myself, who grew up watching that show. And it was his TV family, obviously his real life family. No parent should ever have to bury their child. And I was, anybody who ever watched that show, we were all very sad to learn of his death. And he left a lasting impact, definitely. And so I just wanted to talk about Malcolm-Jamal Warner and the Cosby Show, and he will definitely be missed. So let's move on to something a little bit more pleasant. So one of the reasons I'm excited for this new DC universe is one of the reasons is that it is because of the kind of characters, or I should say the cast of characters that we are going to be seeing. And one of those is Booster Gold. Now, this report is on Joe Blow, published by Cody Haman. And this article reads that HBO Max, well, I guess now it's Max, but formerly HBO Max, is developing a series based on Booster Gold. So, let's see. This article is on Joe Blow, like I said. This article says that Deadline reports that HBO Max, I guess now Max, has hired David Jenkins to write the pilot for a show based on the DC Comics superhero Booster Gold. And if they end up officially ordering the project to series, Jenkins is expected to remain involved as the showrunner. Now, David Jenkins worked on the series Our Flag Means Death, which didn't last very long. I have not seen it. This article goes on to say the Booster Gold series was on the slate of Project DC Studios heads James Gunn and Peter Safran announced as part of Chapter 1 of the DC Universe Gods and Monsters back in January of 2023. Development hasn't gone as smoothly as expected as the project lost a previous showrunner. Maybe David Jenkins will be the one who can push it into production. Now, for those who are not familiar with Booster Gold, let me give you a brief rundown. So, Booster Gold goes by the name of Michael Carter, who is he's basically a time-traveling superhero from the 25th century. And he uses high-tech equipment to fight crime in Metropolis. And then he has a sidekick who's a robot called Skeets. Now, his best friend, and he has a partner, Blue Beetle, Ted Cord. But he has, so Booster Gold, he has kind of a, I guess the proper word would be egotistical attitude. And he's kind of reckless as well. And because of that, he's not taken very seriously, and he's kind of underestimated. But Booster Gold is not to be trifled with, especially, I always loved it when Booster Gold teamed up with Blue Beetle. Now, Booster Gold was created by Dan Jurgens in 1986. So I love characters who you don't think they're any threat until you find out that they are. Like I always enjoy characters who are underestimated because I just love those kinds of characters, and Booster Gold is great. I wonder, and this is just my kind of wishful thinking kind of thing. I wonder if this Booster Gold series is going to include Blue Beetle. And I also wonder, I want to check something really quickly, because that wasn't Ted Cord though. So they couldn't do so. In the previous DC cinematic universe, there was the Blue Beetle movie, which is really, really good. But that was Jamie, the Jamie Reyes version of Blue Beetle, not Ted Cord. So they couldn't do that. They couldn't do a Blue Beetle Booster Gold team up series with the actor from the Blue Beetle movie because that wasn't Ted Cord. But I wonder. I wonder if they're going to bring in Blue Beetle for this Booster Gold series. Who knows? This sounds great, and again, one of the reasons I'm looking forward to this new DC universe is because of the cast of characters that we're going to get. I think with Booster Gold, the kind of character, I think the actor is extremely important, and I know that James Gunn and Peter Safran will get the right guy. I'm really looking forward to this. They've got the Booster Gold, they've got Lanterns coming, the Green Lantern TV series. I still need to watch Peacemaker season 2. I'm looking forward to this. What do you guys think about this? Jump in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. So, moving on here, there is some casting news regarding the Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping film adaptation. Now, full disclosure, again, I haven't read any of these books. My knowledge of the Hunger Games is just the films. But this article is on Screen Rant, published by Matthew Rudoy. And this article says that Katniss Everdeens' parents have been cast in the Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping. So this article says, about halfway down, the Hunger Games now reveals that Scott Greenan has been cast as Burdock Everdeen and Grace Ackery as Astrid March. Burdock is Katniss's father and Astrid is Katniss's mother, with Sunrise on the Reaping being the first time when the names of Katniss's parents are stated. Haymitch and Burdock are close friends during their time in District 12. So it sounds like the names of Katniss's parents were created. At least the names were. The names of Katniss's parents were made up for this movie. Okay, sounds good. Again, I haven't read any of the books, so I don't know if Katniss Everdeen's parents were even in the Sunrise on the Reaping book. I do think that this is a nice way to tie in both. I do think it's a nice way to tie in both, like the Hunger Games prequel movies and the Hunger Games movies. So that's pretty cool. Maybe so we'll see what happens with this. I'm looking forward to this. It'll be interesting to see. I hope it's good because I heard the last Hunger Games, what was it? The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I heard it wasn't that good, but I could be wrong. I've heard from several people. I've heard it's not very good, and others I've heard it's great. So, but the Sunrise on the Reaping comes out next November. So, we'll see what happens with this. I hope it's good. Again, this is a nice way to bridge both the prequels and the Hunger Games movies. So, let me know what you guys think about this. This next bit of news is uh, piques my interest. So when I was I one of the shows that I watched when I was a kid, and by watch I mean seen maybe 15 episodes, was the Angela Lansbury Murder She Wrote. Uh, and but you know, I obviously didn't watch very much of it, but uh, I do remember it, and I do remember really enjoying it. So, um, there is going to be a reinvention of Murder She Wrote, and it's going to be a movie. This article is on Joe Blow, published by Kevin Fraser. Um, and this reinvention of Murder She Wrote is going to star Jamie Lee Curtis, who I love. This article says there have been rumblings of a feature film adaptation of Murder She Wrote starring Jamie Lee Curtis as the iconic Jessica Fletcher, and the actress confirmed to Entertainment Tonight that she's, quote, a minute away, unquote, from taking on the role. Oh, it's happening, Curtis said at the premiere of Freakier Friday. We're a minute away, but yeah, I'm very excited, but I'm tamping down my enthusiasm until we start shooting. I have a couple of other things to hustle, but then I'll get to enjoy that work. Okay, so I am kind of I'm excited about this because it's Jamie Lee Curtis, who is fantastic, Oscar winner. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. But I also wonder if anybody is going to be interested in um, a reinvention of Murder She Wrote without Angela Lansbury. I that TV show is iconic, and I wonder if anybody is going to be interested in it. I mean, I will be, but would anybody watch Murder She Wrote with? I mean, what do I know? I mean, I think I think this is wonderful news. I think Jamie Lee Curtis is a more than capable actress of filling Angela Lansbury's shoes. Um, I know that Angela Lansbury was not too fond of the live of them remake of Disney remaking Beauty and the Beast. I did read that. So I mean, but all I can say is, am I interested in Jamie Lee Curtis doing a reinvention of Murder She Wrote? Yes. Will anybody else be? I don't know. So I just wanted to talk about that for a second. I think it's interesting that it's going to be a movie, and not a TV series. So maybe they could do a trilogy of movies, and that would be cool. That would be really cool. But we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to this. I think this could be good. I just wonder how many people are going to be like, "Oh, it's not Angela Lansbury. I don't want to watch it." Which I think is fair. Um, Unfortunate, but fair. So jump in the comment section and let me know your thoughts about this. So this next bit of news is interesting. It's disturbing, actually, and it's always unfortunate to talk about things like this. So, um, back in July, um, British actor Micheal Ward, who was he was on Top Boy, and he was most recently in the Ari Aster movie Eddington, with Pedro Pascal and Joaquin Phoenix. Micheal Ward, back in July, was charged with 2 counts of rape. And the reason I bring this up is that, for me personally, depending on like you, I typically don't give the furry crack of a rat's behind what an actor or actress does in their personal life, or what any celebrity does in their personal life. But sometimes there are exceptions, and that can affect whether or not I personally continue to follow their work. So back in July, London. This article is on the Hollywood Reporter, published by Lily Ford. This article does go on to say that London's Metropolitan Police confirmed that the 27-year-old actor has been charged with 2 counts of rape and 3 counts of sexual assault. The offenses relate to one woman and are reported to have taken place in January of 2023. Now, the reason I bring this up is that, for me personally, like I said, Micheal Ward is in this movie Eddington with Pedro Pascal and Joaquin Phoenix. And that was a movie that I was interested in seeing. I've heard it's decent. And again, it was a movie that I was interested in seeing. It's not anymore. Even though it has long been out of theaters, I can't watch this movie now because of what Micheal Ward has done. I mean, you violate a woman like that, and you're scum. You're the scum of the earth. You're dead to me. Now, Micheal Ward did appear in court in August. I have not done any research as to what the court proceedings. I have no knowledge of what happened during those court proceedings. But all I can tell you is that I have no interest in watching Eddington now because of what Micheal Ward has done. He's scum, and it's unfortunate. I mean, it's disturbing, it's wrong, and there's not enough words to describe this. I never understand. There's so much in this world that I do not understand. And I reading about this makes me want to puke. But hopefully justice is served, and unfortunately, I will never watch this movie. I know people who worked on this movie, but I mean, it's just, it really, really, it sucks. It sucks. So I just wanted to talk about that for a second. I know it's difficult to talk about. It's difficult to listen to, but I felt the need to. Moving on to something, again, a little more pleasant. Um, so this is interesting. So there's a new movie coming from A24 Studios. Um, I I believe it's going to be called Misty Green, but I'm not sure. Um, and I think so. I'm not sure who's directing it. I think Chris Rock may be directing it. But basically, um, so here's what the article says. This article is on CBR, published by John Dodge. Chris Rock's upcoming A24 film adds a whole host of fan favorite Hollywood stars to its ensemble cast. Per Deadline, the hotly anticipated yet currently untitled A24 film being written, directed, and produced by comedy legend Chris Rock, so Chris Rock is directing it, has just found what seems like every member of its ensemble cast. As of now, the film, formerly known as Misty Green, stars Adam Driver, Daniel Kaluuya, Anna Kendrick, Rosalind Eleazar, and Chris Rock himself, with Eleazar taking on what would have been the film's titular role before its working title was shelved. This article goes on to say that the film is currently being produced in Los Angeles. The film is set to follow Misty Green, a talented actress whose career was completely derailed, leaving her on the outer edge of the industry. When an old acquaintance pops back into her life, Misty is given the chance at the comeback she has been vying to attain for years. Okay, that sounds pretty good. It sounds a little meta. It sounds a little like this kind of thing actually happens in the industry quite often. Um, this could be a commentary about that. Um, who knows? I am not. It's interesting that Chris Rock is directing this. I'm not really into him as an actor. I mean, he's fine. I don't really. I'm not a fan of him as a person either. Um, for me, it's the other members of the cast that interest me. So I really like Adam Driver. Daniel Kaluuya is one of my favorite actors working today. Coming off his Oscar win, and being in the Black Panther movies. And I love Anna Kendrick. She's one of my favorite actresses right now. So those cast members get me excited for this. And again, it's interesting that Chris Rock is directing this. So this sounds interesting. This sounds like this could potentially talk about. This sounds like very kind of inside baseball, kind of like this kind of thing happens in the industry all the time. So that could be this. I hope it's good. So this sounds interesting to me. I don't know what the title would be, but I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, jump in the comment section and let me know your thoughts about this. So this is interesting. This next bit of news is pretty unique, I have to say. One of the movies that I guess is on my list of movies that I've never seen but I've always wanted to is My Best Friend's Wedding with Julia Roberts. I don't know why I've never seen it. I love Julia Roberts. I'll see anything she's in. So, but I've never seen My Best Friend's Wedding. But this next bit of news is interesting. Um, this article is on CBR, published by Jody Brown, and this article says a classic Julia Roberts led romantic comedy that boosted her reputation as one of Hollywood's household names is set for the sequel treatment nearly 3 decades after it premiered. A new report confirms a return down the aisle for an in development My Best Friend's Wedding sequel. According to Collider, Sony Pictures is working on My Best Friend's Wedding 2, with Oscar-nominated screenwriter Celine Song penning the script for the follow-up. The sequel is in early development, with no director or casting information confirmed for the film. It's unknown whether Roberts or other stars from the original are returning for the second installment. That would be weird if she wasn't. So I've never seen My Best Friend's Wedding, like I said. Let me see. Who else is in that? Oh yeah, Dermot Mulroney and Cameron Diaz. Oh yeah, and Rupert Everett in it. Yeah, I remember seeing the trailers countless times and being, that looks funny. And it was directed by P.J. Hogan, who directed the 2003 adaptation of Peter Pan with Jason Isaacs as Captain Hook, which I loved. Oh my God, I love that movie so much. In My Best Friend's Wedding, I've heard it's pretty good. I've heard it's pretty good. Let me see if there's any more information here. Yeah. I mean, good Lord, what that movie made, what, $300 million? Jesus. So, I mean, it's weird to be getting a sequel 27 years after the original. I mean, Julia Roberts stayed pretty busy. So I guess it's only natural that the sequel took this long. Look, I mean, if it's good, sure, I'll see it. I'll see anything with Julia Roberts. That woman can very. I'm trying to. I can't even talk. Julia Roberts very rarely does wrong. And I'll see anything she's in. So if it's good, I'm down. You know, I need to watch the original. Have you guys seen My Best Friend's Wedding? What do you guys think? So jump in the comment section and let me know your thoughts about this. This next bit of news I am so excited for. So there is going to be a submarine thriller movie titled Subversion. Okay. And it's going to star Chris Hemsworth, who I really like. I wish his. I really wish that Chris Hemsworth's. Bleh, I really wish that Chris Hemsworth's films outside of Marvel were good. I'll just leave it at that. I love him as Thor. I wish. I just wish his work outside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe was good. So now there was this report off of Joe Blow, published by Kevin Fraser. Lily James will join Chris Hemsworth in Subversion. That's the name of the movie, Subversion, a project which has been described as Die Hard on a submarine style thriller. The film follows a once promising naval commander, played by Chris Hemsworth, who was blackmailed by a cartel-like organization into piloting a dangerous submarine carrying illegal cargo across international waters. Thrust into a high-stakes game of cat and mouse with a Coast Guard officer, Lily James, in hot pursuit, he must outmaneuver blockades and navigate perilous threats both inside and outside the submarine. This sounds awesome. So, first of all, let me say this. I love Lily James. Lily James is one of my favorite actresses working right now. She was great as Cinderella in the live action Cinderella. She was great in the Mamma Mia movies. I love her. She was great in Baby Driver. Obviously, she's drop dead gorgeous. I love her so much. I love submarine. Could you call them submarine movies? Like submarine. I love these movies, submarine thriller movies. I love The Hunt for Red October, Crimson Tide. My grandfather loved Das Boot, and I've seen it as well and it's awesome. Das Boot is awesome. I mean, it's 3 hours of just. I mean, it's a 3-hour submarine epic. I mean, Das Boot makes The Hunt for Red October look like kitten play, you know. So I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited for this, and Die Hard on a submarine. Cool. Hopefully it's good. Like I said, I love Lily James. She was recently in this movie directed by David Mackenzie called Relay, starring Riz Ahmed. Which I heard, was good. But I'm really looking forward to this. I love submarine movies. Excuse me. So, hopefully, I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. Hopefully, the budget on this movie doesn't go out of proportion, or doesn't blow out of proportion. When I think of movies like The Hunt for Red October and Crimson Tide, I mean, they made those movies for $100 million. And that was... They don't make mid-budget movies anymore. I mean, so hopefully the budget of this movie doesn't balloon to 300 plus, hopefully it's good and hopefully it's profitable. This excites me so much. So jump in the comment section and let me know what your thoughts are on Subversion. So one last bit of news here on this particular episode. There is going to be another video game to movie adaptation. I stopped playing video games more than 10 years ago. So I'm not there are video game to film adaptations that I'm just not familiar with a video game. But I know plenty of people who are gamers. So and it's been proven recently that with great care, video game to film adaptations can be good and even great. So, this article is on the Hollywood Reporter, published by Boris Kitt. And this article says that Gary Dauberman, who is the founder of Coin Operated Studios, I think Coin Operated. Gary Dauberman has secured the screen rights to the award-winning video game The Medium. A search for a writer and director for the project is underway. Now, here's a description of the video game. This article does give the description of the video game. It says, set in the post-communist era of Poland in the 1990s and taking place mostly in a fictional abandoned hotel in Krakow, the game tells of a woman named Mariana, imbued with psychic abilities, who is called to unravel the mystery of the death of an innocent child. It earned praise for its visuals and its dystopian surrealist style. And the soundtrack, it says... Okay. I mean, that sounds really interesting. Okay. I wanna be careful of how I phrase it. There are certain events that come to mind when I think of post-communist Poland, and more specifically Krakow. So having not played the game, I wonder if that time period has any bearing on the game itself. Like, I'm not familiar with the game, so I don't know. Will the events do the events of post-communist Poland have an impact on the game? Like, I don't know. But this sounds cool. I mean, it definitely could be. It definitely sounds very dystopian. It definitely. I think this could be good. Now, I will say that Gary Dauberman directed the feature. He did adapt the horror video game Until Dawn into the video game. He worked on it. He didn't direct it. Until Dawn wasn't very good, so there is that. But he's worked on some of the biggest horror movie franchises. Annabelle, It. I'm dubious about this simply because of what Gary Dauberman has worked on in the past, but I'm optimistic because recently video game to film adaptations have actually been good and even great. So if any of you are familiar with the medium, the video game, the medium. Let me know what you guys think about this, and jump in the comment section and let me know what you think. Um, well, that'll about do it for this episode. Like I said before, I am, instead of rambling on for hours on end, I want to break this up into several different episodes. So I'm literally going to upload this and then record my next episode. So I hope uh, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys continue to watch. I know it's getting closer to the holidays, so it might be harder for you guys to tune in, but I'm going to try to get back to doing this on a regular, semi-regular basis. Um, there's a lot going on, but I'm happy to be home in Ohio. I'm happy to be back doing this show, and I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope everything is okay out there. I know it's kind of crazy. Um, but I will see you guys later today, and as always, I will see you at the movies.